Yeah, give Weber State credit. Outplayed us. I thought we did a lot of good things. Just kind of looking at the stats sheet, trying to digest some of the stuff. But at the end of the day, I thought they kind of imposed their plan and their will in the game, much more so than us. And what I mean by that is, they switched everything, and usually we're really good against that, and we really struggled. They limited our ability to take good threes. Obviously, we were 1 for 14. If you want to pull a stat out, that's the one stat. It's a one-shot game with 5 seconds to go, and we go 1 for 14 from three. So that's the one stat. But more so than that, we're just this league. Like I tell our guys, the league's really good. It's really balanced. If you play well, we got a really good team. But if you don't play well, it's going to be hard. And it was hard tonight, and not a great night for the Bears.
Coach, a lot of stuff can be said about tonight, whether questioned and just how it unfolded all today. But from the start, Weber State showed that they're going to play hard man, especially when it came up to Quid and Vincent, where they were going to press fully with their point guards and keep control and give you guys real contact throughout the paint and in the outside area. Was that something was expected? Was that something they had to adapt to mid-game? Or how were you guys able for that?
The full court stuff, that's just what they do. And so that actually really wasn't a big deal. It was more so in the half court. They usually kind of switch all the off-ball stuff, down screens, things like that. But they went to a full, let's just switch everything and let's just see if these guys are good enough to beat us, and we weren't. So at the end of the day, it's and you can look at that one of two ways. You can look at that, from the posting up, right? They got some really, really little players, just being honest about it. And we couldn't find ways to manipulate that. And then on the perimeter, give their bigs credit that they were able to switch and limit our guards from being able to attack mismatches on the perimeter, go and switch 1-5. So conversely, we switched a lot as well, and the result wasn't as good for us. We couldn't guard in the post when we switched. We can't guard in the perimeter. So we got to get better.
Also, Coach, you talked about the three-point game, 1 for 14. Even in the second, you guys were 0 for 6. Even in the first, it was 1 for 8.
It's brutal.
It's very brutal. But based on your opinion, how you viewed it, what was it?
Yeah, in the wee hours of the night, as we go through our process, win or lose, we do what we do. And so as I'm watching kind of the quality of the shots, I'll have a better opinion of it. But I think we got great shots. I'm not stressed about that at all. 48 hours ago, we made 16 threes. Same team, same players. We just didn't make shots. We had great shots. So I never worry about that. It's obviously statistically 1 for 14. But you're going to have nights like that where you can't hit a shot. And that happens. It's more so just the little things, the fouling. We again, we basically lose at the buzzer and they outscore us by 7 at the free throw line. And that's been a problem for us the last 3-4 games. And so it's like I told the guys afterwards, we might have to reevaluate how we're guarding schematically in terms of ball screen coverage and just, switching, not switching. There's just some things that it's almost like last week, and that, we got exposed in a couple areas. We did a good job learning from those things and addressing those things and getting better at those things. And yet again, I think some more things kind of popped up tonight that, we got to address these things. And you just got to keep, we're in the trees right now. The trees are a little gnarly, but the forest is that we got to play our best in March, and we got to find a way to play really good in Boise, and these games all matter towards actually get the best seeding you can get. So, but you got to kind of keep the big picture as well and not lose your mind, knowing that, yes, we are extremely disappointed for sure.
Yeah, I know, Coach, right now, nobody wants to talk about the record, but you still have a good record, but yet you're 1-4 in the league. Is there any cause for concern at the moment right now about trying to get back on track here?
Yeah, 1-3, 1-3. But at the same point in time, that's not the standard expectation of what the Bears have turned themselves into over the last decade. To be 1-3 in the league, that's not what we're supposed to be. So, there's definitely cause for concern. But I think more so, it's like, the phrase is urgent, not panicked. Coming in panic, we just blowing everything up. It's not about that. It's just we got to have some urgency, and we did all week. We got better. We had a great week of practice. Played great on Thursday. Had great attention to detail from that point until this game. Guys were locked in. We didn't play well enough. And I think at the end of the day, again, if you don't play good in this league, especially, and maybe there's no more bullseye on our back. I mean, it's probably not any bullseye on one of 3 teams back, but coming into it, right, being ranked in all those polls and stuff, you're going to have to be relatively close to the best version of yourself. And we just haven't been. So we just got to keep figuring it out.
2 gentlemen are in here that had good games tonight. I mean, anything else you think positive from this loss? Like
Yeah.
this? I mean,
No, there's always positives. It's never completely negative. It's never completely positive. That I believe the scoreboard is an imposter. Like if you just, everything's great, because let's just say that, and really I'd rather learn lessons in a win than in a loss, right? But let's just say that 73-71, and we do the review and we got the challenge, it's our ball. Let's just say we hit a 3 and we win the game. Yes, I mean, we all feel differently right now. But the film will still say the exact same thing for the first 39 minutes and 55 seconds, right? And there will be some good and there will be some bad. So, no, there's a lot of good. And, obviously, look at this. Tremendous night. I thought Ring had a great night. Played really well. I think that there's just, from a player-to-player standpoint, no one, especially taking that starting lineup, had a great game by any means. But, again, it's hard to judge it just off the sheet. You got to go back and watch the impact or lack thereof in the film and learn from the film. But no, all is not lost. I'm a little shell-shocked. We're 1-3. Everyone is. I'm not thrilled about it, but at the same point in time, it's like I told the guys, I don't feel any different about our team. I think we can be really good. I think we can win this whole thing. I think we have the best team. However, at some point in time, we'll have to get out there and get it done and prove it. So.
Obviously, 1 for 14 from 3 is not ideal, but what is the game plan when you guys aren't knocking down shots out there?
Well, I give our guys credit that, and more so it's giving Weber credit. We didn't get a ton of good looks. So, if you're like 1 for 29, you're like, man, but like 14 threes, that's about as low of an amount of attempts as like we're assuming we'll probably get about 20 or so up. But you just got to embrace the flow of the game. So, yeah, I thought we were almost, I wouldn't say posting up too much, but we were down on that post a lot, which we love to do. But at the same point in time, it's just, the game and the defense presents the shot you're going to get. Everyone has different schemes and schematics. And so, yeah, we just, at the end of the day, it's just, if we hit 4 for 14, we'll all feel better. 4 for 14 is not good. This team's going to hit at least 4 for 14 every other game the rest of the year. But you stretch that bad boy to 1 for 14, it's getting a little perilous. And so if we just remove that, I bet everything else offensively is probably pretty good. But it just wasn't good enough tonight.
And then it was a pretty close game, majority of the game. But what were you telling the guys down the stretch to stay in the game?
Yeah.
As they were making free throws?
It was a close game the whole time, right? It was just close. And so just, win the possession. No one panicked. Everyone I think everyone on our team has a high belief level. So, no one panicked. It just, it gets down to it. Late in the game, we just didn't obviously make enough stops and we didn't make enough plays offensively. And that's kind of how the result ends up being what it is.
Despite this tough loss, what is it that they did differently in the second half after you guys had the 3-point lead at half? What did they do to turn the tide in their favor?
Yeah, I think they played really hard. When you look at it, like we were getting the ball at the rim, they collapsed and they kind of flew around the floor really well. That's the first thing that comes to mind. We kind of beat ourselves this game, I would say. If you look at it, they only had 76. We didn't play horrible defense. We just couldn't really get into rhythm like we should have.
What was that sequence at the end there when we had possession and they had called for a whistle? What happened there? What was this?
Yeah, it was just an elbow. I tried to swim over the guy, and my elbow caught him. And I regret it a lot. Like I kind of blame myself, there, and then obviously on that missed free throw, and then I throw a turnover. But I think the guys played hard. I think I should have gave our team a better chance, to win that game.
Well, you two both had some good games tonight. Ring, you had a great game tonight as well, 16-8. Talk about how you felt out there, much of the half, second half mostly.
I was just feeling like just the energy from playing with the guys. They're just kind of like just keep encouraging me to make winning plays. That's kind of like what our team is based on, just winning plays. So they just kind of keep on encouraging me to be me. So that kind of like led to this result.
What was kind of the talk within the team about, mid-second, where, tension starts to rise up, and especially with physicality starts to rise up too. especially when the refs and there's a lot of calls going on. What does it say about you guys to keep your composure, but to also not let it to flare up too much?
Yeah, we have a really veteran team. I think that we have a team that doesn't fracture easily. We got a lot of good voices. Nobody's in there, saying the wrong things. We're all just kind of giving each other, like Ring's saying, we're trying to back each other up. So whether it's Ring's having a great game, we're saying keep going, Ring. We're just a lot of the talk though is just we got to make winning plays. We got to get that extra offensive rebound, that extra 50-50 ball. And I think that we just didn't get enough. And like Smiley talked about, we're going to have games like this sometimes, and it comes down to the fact that we got to be able to win these ones.
A question was asked to coach about what he was telling you guys towards the end of the stretch, especially when things got close. But how about as a team, when you guys were out there and they're coming down the ball, or that timeout happens or that foul happens, what's going on with you guys?
We're just trying to stay connected. Like, we can't let anything kind of take us out of our rhythm during that time in the game, because if we get out of the rhythm, the game's just going to get just elongated more and more. So we kind of just stayed connected, got in our huddles quick, talked it out, and then we got our result.
What was the positive, at least you guys seen today, at least from your team? Like the interview with Coach, he said some positives as well, but at least from what you guys have saw, what was the positive you guys can take from today?
I think we played really hard, and we normally always do, but especially tonight, I think that we went out there and we gave all we had. It wasn't perfect, and obviously we got to clean a lot of stuff up. But when it comes down to, I wouldn't want to go to battle with any other team. Like I love this team, and I'm trying to soak it all in for this last year and not get too ahead of myself. And I think that taking it one step at a time and realizing it's all part of the journey. So yeah, that's what I would say.
Honestly, I just agree with Brad, to be honest.
I'll keep it simple. What's the mindset going through the rest of conference play? Because you guys are probably going to have another tough game like this since you guys are playing well. What's the mindset moving forward?
I think it's just attack and just stay true to ourselves, just keep playing fast, getting stops on defense, moving the floor up the ball. So I feel like if we're attacking instead of being attacked, it's going to end out with a better result. So
I think we got to learn how to stay hungry, especially after a win. Going into Idaho State, we were just hungry to win coming off those two losses. I don't think there was any way or any doubt in our mind we'd lose that game. And that's why we came out and won. But coming into this one, obviously the talk's still good and we're still connected. But we just got to find a way to stay hungry, and it's game by game, right? So we're not going to look ahead even when we're on the road. We're not going to play this first game looking ahead at the second game. So just step by step, but just making sure that we find a way to be consistently hungry for a win and excited to play.
So the one stat that also stands out, Coach talked about that 1 for 14 from beyond the arc. Shots in the fall, but clearly there was a little net room for beyond the arc for you guys tonight.
Yeah, it sucks, but it's something we can't overthink. We got to go out there and let them fly just the same. And I think that all of us have confidence in each other. I have confidence in Ring to hit threes. I have confidence in everybody. And there's nights like that, and we got to live with it.